Mezun TV'den herkese merhaba. Yanımda Sayın Bakhtiyar Baidaralin var. Kendisi Assistant Director of International Admission göreviyle MCPHS Üniversitesi'nde görev yapmakta. Hi Bakhtiyar, welcome to our show.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
We would like to learn about MCPHS. Can you provide us with brief information about the university, please?
Sure. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here. MCPHS University is actually an acronym for Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. And as you can sort of tell from the name, we're a very focused university teaching students careers in the health sciences. So pre-medical, pharmacy, pharmaceutical and healthcare business, nursing. So all of the students who come to our university are really passionate about helping people, but they're also very passionate about the health sciences and being in this industry.
So that's a good question that we're receiving. MCPHS is a pre-med program.
Right.
And can you please elaborate on what pre-med is?
Sure. In most places in the world, for students who want to study medicine, they typically enroll into a medical college or a medical university at the completion of their high school studies. And then they study directly for 5 or 6 years, and then they begin working as doctors. Now, in the United States, the education system for doctors is different because everybody first starts off in a pre-med program. And what exactly is pre-med? Pre-med is basically a science degree which gives the students a good foundation in biology, chemistry, a little bit of math, a little bit of physics, and then that allows them to pursue a graduate education in the health sciences. So whether it's medicine, medical research, public health, or something of that nature. And that's the program that our university offers. It's the pre-med, and it gives students a lot of flexibility to branch out.
And the student, after graduating a pre-med school like yours, they need to get the MCAT, right? And after that, they actually go on to their medical degree. Is that correct?
Correct. So after the student graduates from pre-med, they do the MCAT, and then they're eligible to apply to medical school. And as you all know, studying medicine in the United States is a very competitive process. So one of the things that we're very proud to offer to our students is a partnership with a university in the Caribbean that's called St. George's Medical University. And it's considered to be the best medical university in the Caribbean. It has a really good reputation in the United States. And in fact, 85% of their international students are placed into residencies in the United States, which means that they then go on to be American doctors. So this is a really nice option for students because through our partnership, we're actually able to cut down on a year of a student's medical education, so they then get their MD in 7 years as opposed to the traditional 8 years. And this is really good for international students because it opens up another avenue for them to pursue a medical career in the United States.
That is a very important point. I was going to ask you 4 years pre-med and then normally another 4 years to become a doctor, and that's 8 years. But with SGU, which is a very familiar university for us because they were here actually in Istanbul with us, and with their director, Dr. Kal, I was actually here. He was on our show as well, and we discussed the path to SGU and how they place doctors in the United States as well. So with the partnership you have with SGU now, I would like to repeat this for our viewers. Instead of going 4 + 4 to 8 years, actually they can do 3 + 4, 7 years.
Correct.
And that will be enough for them to get the exam to become a doctor.
Correct.
That's a great opportunity for students who are watching our show. I would like to also ask you about your school, and like this, are there any other ways to cut the length of the program, and is it changing from one major to another?
Sure. I think it's very important to talk about the time that it takes for a student's education because a lot of programs like pharmacy or medicine do take quite a bit of time. So we do have a couple of programs in place, such as the direct entry pharmacy program, where students graduate in 6 years with a PharmD and also with an American license to practice pharmacy. And in most universities, a student will typically enter a pre-pharmacy first with no guarantees of actually getting into the pharmacy program. So this is nice because not only are they guaranteed to become a pharmacist, but they also cut down a year or 2 in their pharmaceutical education. Other programs which are accelerated, which students might like, would be things like programs in medical imaging, nursing, physiotherapy, and so on, which cut down a year or two from a student's education and allow them to enter the workforce a lot quicker, thus beating the competing students from other universities who take a year or two longer.
So that could be 6 years, as short as 6 years, you're saying?
We even have a pharmacy program that's as short as 5 years. It's a little bit more competitive because there is a separate application process for it. But theoretically, if a student is very strong academically, they could in fact graduate as a licensed pharmacist in 5 years, as opposed to the traditional 6 or 7 to 8 years.
Where is the university?
So the university is located in Boston. For those of you who don't know, Boston is one of the oldest cities in the United States, but it's probably famous for two things. It's famous just in general as being the best student city that a person can go to. Lots and lots of international students, lots of universities, so there's a very student-centric culture in the city. But besides that, it's really known as the center of healthcare education. And we're very proud that we are located right in the middle of the city, and specifically, we are located in a part of the city called the Longwood Medical Area. And the Longwood Medical Area is really famous for hosting some of the best healthcare institutions in the entire world. Directly across from our campus is the Harvard Medical School. Down the street from that is Boston Children's, which is the best pediatrics hospital in the country. Dana-Farber, Brigham and Women's, Beth Israel. These are just some of the household names which our students grow so accustomed to because of our long-standing relationship with those places for receiving our students for clinical rotations, for internships, for fellowships, for volunteer experience. So it's a really nice place to be for a student interested in healthcare because they are literally surrounded by it on all sides.
How many total students do you have?
So the university itself, if you include all the undergraduate students, graduate level students, PhD students, boasts about 7,000 students as the population. Within that 7,000, about 1,000 are international students. So they make up about 15% of the university or so, and they come from all over the world. They study all programs at all levels. So, I cannot really say that a particular group of students occupies a particular program of study. It's very, very diverse.
Very diverse.
But the nice thing about it is that no matter where people come from, whether it's next door from a neighborhood in Boston or all the way from Turkey or other parts of the world, they're all there for the same purpose. They're all there because they're passionate about healthcare, because they love science. So it's a really good community because people are all kind of in it together, if you know what I mean.
We talked about MCAT, and I know that the passing rate for your graduates is pretty high. What is that rate?
Sure. If you look at the entire United States, all the students who take the MCAT exam, about 2/3 of them do not get a favorable result that a medical school would consider to be a strong, good result to get them accepted. We're proud to say that because of the way our curriculum is designed, because the studies that the students have focused them on human healthcare education, our rate of passing the MCAT and getting a good result on the MCAT is about 70–75%, depending on the year. And again, that's much higher than the national average, but because it's such a focused curriculum.
So the national average is kind of 20–25%, maybe
like
30%.
30–35, yeah.
30–35%,
Yeah.
and your graduates is 70–75%. That's a pretty good rate. How about the cost? How much would a student pay to come to your institution?
Sure. The cost of our institution, the tuition itself, is about it's $30,530. Plus, if they're going to choose to live on campus, that goes anywhere between $13,000 to $15,000, depending on the dormitories that they have. So altogether, a student is looking at a total cost of about $45,000 or so for attending our university.
Is that per
year?
Per year.
That's per year.
And year is 2 semesters.
And the year is 2 semesters.
So we're talking about 2 semesters, about 45, you
Right.
said, to 50,000.
So cut that in half.
And cut that in half, yeah. And that is including living expenses.
Living expenses as well. And we're also very proud that since we have been working with Mezun for so long, and since they're such a good partner of ours, we're very proud to offer students who work with Mezun, who get counseled by Mezun, scholarships for merit-based, scholarships for their housing, ranging anywhere between $5,000 and upwards, $5,000 per year, and upwards. And this is a really nice opportunity for students from Turkey because, you know, they have such a good partner like yourself, Mezun, in town where they can ask a lot of questions. But it's also good for us because we're getting really good qualified students and also getting them really nice scholarships for their education.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question. We have good news for our members, I was going to say. So Mezun members will be receiving up to $5,000 per year, and that will continue throughout the 4-year period that they stay, or maybe more or less, you know, so throughout their stay. So this is something that our viewers should know. Would you like to add anything about MCPHS?
Sure. You know, I've been associated with MCPHS for a few years now, and this is not the first institution that I've ever worked for in higher education. And one of the things that really strikes me is, first of all, the dedication of the professors. You know, it's not in that many places where the professors are so dedicated to teaching the students, where they are so open to meeting students after class. I can absolutely say that the students who go to this university have access to some of the best facilities in terms of healthcare, but also some of the best resources outside of the university as well. So that's really, for me, being associated with this university, something that I'm very proud of, that the students who go to the university, they enjoy their experience there, they're able to get a very good education, and ultimately pursue a really good career in healthcare, which is really why we're all in this industry in the first place, to give students good opportunities.
And Bakhtiyar, thank you very much. Your name is Bakhtiyar, and our viewers might be, wondering your name. So, where are you from?
So, I was born in the Soviet Union, which later became Kazakhstan, and I moved to the United States in 2001. So, I've been living in the U.S. for the last 15 years. But as long as I can remember, I've always been attracted to being with people from other countries, having friends from different cultures, and I really enjoy coming here to Turkey because the culture here is very lovely, but also the students that I've met through Mezun and through other events have all been very good. And so I just really enjoy coming here and just being in part of this culture, especially since, you know, Turkey and Kazakhstan have so much in culture historically going back many centuries ago.
Yeah, and the name Bakhtiyar is a very common name for us in Turkey as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for coming to Istanbul and to our show. And you provided very good information, informative session with us. Thanks a lot, and we would be glad to have you here again.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Evet sevgili izleyiciler, bugün MCPHS hakkında konuştuk. Pre-Med nedir? Pre-Med'den sonra kaç yılda doktor olmak için nerelere gidilir, nasıl okunur ve özellikle MCPHS ile SGU'nun yapmış olduğu ortaklıkla 4+4 yerine nasıl 3+4 yılda doktor olarak Amerika'da görev yapılabilir? Bu konuları tartıştık. Sizlerle tekrar birlikte olacağız. Şimdilik hoşça kalın.